Good evening, everyone. We would like to start the plenary session 2, and I would like to call upon the eminent speakers on the dais, please. Professor V.L. Dharurkar, former UGC Emeritus Professor and former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director CEC New Delhi, P.V. Satya Prasad, Associate Professor, Acting Dean, School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, Dr. Richa Sharma, Deputy Director, Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, New Delhi, Mr. Sudhir Ranjan Mishra, Head of Corporate Affairs at Paradeep Phosphates Limited. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. I, Dr. Ramika, Associate Professor, Amity University, Kolkata, I'm here to moderate the plenary session 2, and the theme of the session is Social Media, Skill India, Empowerment and Digital Culture. So, if I talk about this theme, we are literally going to talk about the common man's bread and butter. So don't take me otherwise, we are not taking or dividing from roti, kapda and makan, but modern human beings' necessity, that are social media, skill India, empowerment and digital culture. Technology is a key to the vision of a digital India. Social media, mobility, analytics, and clouds are the foundation that will enable the digital India's vision of providing governance and services on demand. Digitally empowered citizens and support the social inclusion schemes being launched by the government. The digitization has proven impact on economy and society by reducing unemployment, improving quality of life, and boosting access to knowledge and other public services. In this session, we will deliberate upon how social media is playing an impetus role in skill media, empowerment, and digital culture. And for the same, I would like to welcome the eminent speakers and the chairperson, sir, for this session. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor V.L. Dharurkar. Professor V.L. Dharurkar is former Vice Chancellor of Central University, Tripura, and UGC Professor Emeritus in Mass Communication. He is a product of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. He is a gold medalist and a rank holder during his studies. Professor Dharurkar has visited various foreign universities for presenting papers at international conferences. He has also chaired sessions at Philadelphia University and many universities of international and national repute. He has also chaired a session at UNESCO, where he was invited by UNESCO to present a paper on energy communication at the second International Symposium on the topic of energy saving campaigns and public acceptance in Indian media. He received a Young Scientist Career Award in 1994 from UGC. He is also a recipient of Lifetime Achievement Award from IBC Cambridge, declared him the 100 Educationist of World in 2007 and 2011. He has been included in a list of 500 Harvard Social Scientists of Asia. Professor Dharurkar is a very prolific orator, and on the behalf of this conference, I would like to welcome you, sir, on the board. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Sunil Mehru. He is an academician, media professional, and an ICT expert who has done his honors, MPhil, and doctorate. He has an experience of more than 20 years in crafting professional communication by experimenting and implementing innovative learning pedagogies to ensure optimum use of ICT in dissemination of education. Mr. Mehru is presently the Joint Director, Software in Consortium for Education Communication, and International University for University Grants Commission, New Delhi. As a Joint Director, he has been engaged in coordination with 21 educational multimedia research centers throughout the country and coordinates the national telecast of various higher education channels in India. He has also served Educational Multimedia Research Center, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, as Honorary Director for 4 years. Dr. Mehru was honored by the National Award Dr. Nehru was honored by the National Award for his documentary based on the folk festivals of Rajasthan. He has been nominated as chairman, expert, and a member in several selection committees, review committees, standing committees. He has also been nominated as a member of Project Review and Supervisory Group by MHRD. We welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. P.V. Satyaprasad, Associate Professor and Acting Dean, D/H, Watson University, Hyderabad. Dr. Prasad is a senior academician, researcher, and author with wide experience working in prestigious higher education institutions in India and Gulf regions. With over 19 years of experience in teaching, curricular development, and research, Dr. Prasad has an extensive background in conducting research studies and has presented several papers at various international universities and conferences in India and abroad. He has earlier associated at the University of Technology and Applied Science, Department of Communication Studies, IPRI campus in the Sultanate of Oman. For over a decade, Dr. Prasad has published several research papers covering the domain of media literacy, digital divide, and social media in Arab world. His book titled Role and Impact of Social Media on the Arab Spring was well received in the academic circle in Middle East and North Africa region. Dr. Prasad has a rich exposure of media industry, having worked for a decade as a senior editor in reputed national media organizations like the Hindu, Oman Daily Observer, Gulf Daily News, and in the Kingdom of Bahrain. We welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Richa Sharma, Deputy Director, ICSSR. Dr. Sharma completed her education from Maharaja Sayaji Rao University, Baroda. She is a historian by degree and a social scientist in two spirit, persistently working and interlinking various dimensions of historical study with present discipline and identifying current social issues and challenges. Aligning to understanding Virasat Pe Garv, she looks upon history as a repository of solutions to numerous challenges of the present times. She has 16 years of experience in teaching and research and at present working as a Deputy Director, ICSSR, Ministry of Education, New Delhi. As a Deputy Director, she looks after 24 research institutes and 6 regional centers of ICSSR. She is extensively involved in policy making of research, answering parliamentary questions related to her segment, legal matters, and RTI. More importantly, she provides her services to ICSR to work on thrust areas of research of national importance. While working as an Associate Professor of History, GNLU from 2016, she has many achievements in her place. She cleared her rigorous selection process and also is a foreign visiting professor in University of Osaka. We welcome you, ma'am. And lastly, but not the least, I would like to invite Mr. Sudhir Ranjan Mishra, Head of Corporate Affairs at PPL. Mr. Sudhir Ranjan Mishra is working as a Head of Corporate Affairs at Paradeep Phosphate Limited. Mr. Mishra has 2 decades of experience in advertising, branding, and marketing communication. Started his career as a content manager in Microsoft Edit Company at Hyderabad and managing the content of 35 plus websites. Later, he moved to Sohagi Advertising in Alaknanda Advertising. A true ad agency guy, he was responsible for brand building and creative works for the clients like BSNL, NTPC, Maruti Automobiles, Andhra Brand, Power Grid India, Gridco, Nalco, and extra. Mr. Mishra is a founder member of Big FM 92.7 Bhubaneswar station and was advertising head for the station for a couple of years. He joined PPL in 2008 and has a keen interest in quizzing, anchoring, and singing. We welcome you, sir. And as I have welcomed each and every speaker, I would like to give the dice to them and start today's discussion, please.
As we have very short time, we will allot only 10 minutes for each panelist. And in 2 lines, I will introduce the subject. digital revolution has knocked the doors of India. We are living in the third wave, and Digital India's initiative has evolved Skill India, Startup India. India is emerged at number 2 in the startups in the world, and it is providing huge amount of employment to the youngsters, and very ambitious programs of Prime Minister Narendra Modi are empowering the rural poor, urban youth, and also very ambitious schemes of doubling the income of farmers, providing employment, and also changing the education and training programs. So with this introduction, digitalization is benefiting direct bank transfer DBT, and also social development schemes, farmers welfare schemes, and many more schemes have been implemented through the digitalization. So this is a very, very important arena in the development communication, Sustainable Development Commission. In 1987 in the world, when Brundtland Commission was appointed by UNESCO, then the Sustainable Development Report came, and the word sustainable development became a vibrant mantra all over the world. India also in the 12th plan was inclusive development, and many more ideas were brought in, and Niti Aayog with 500 ideal schemes is implanting these schemes in a very systematic manner. With this introduction, we begin our discussion, and I hand over this for the comparer, anchor, moderator. Satya Prasad ji will initiate because he is from Hyderabad and he is very powerful analyst.
A very good afternoon to the distinguished speakers of the dais as well as the assembled audience. Today I want to take a path which is less traveled. I do not want to hang around with buzzwords of empowerment, skilled India and digital India. I would like to address more pressing questions which I would urge all of you and including us to introspect at the end of the day. Let me take up the first theme, which is social media. Well, no doubt, data has proven, statistics have revealed that social media has indeed empowered not just the urban India, but the rural India as well. So the divide between urban and rural India has to a great extent been bridged by the social media. Of course, one might say that social media is just a new emergence. It's something that has emerged in the last 2 decades or so. So how far are we justified in saying that social media has really empowered the people or bridging the rural-urban divide? This is a question to ponder. My question is, yes, social media has played its role in bridging the rural and urban divide. How is this so? Earlier media, the traditional media, as we media practitioners and academicians love to talk about, was more a powerful tool in the hands of the elite or the more affluent sections of the society. But that's not the case with social media. I would like to, state the obvious by saying that social media is one media in which you really need peanuts to invest in, to have access to it. So in that sense, I believe that each one of us here and across the world, across the length and breadth of India, have access to social media, and we use different platforms of social media for various reasons, right? And of course, the primary reason or the primary aim of social India, as far as today's theme goes, is, has it been able to bridge, or to what extent has it played a role in bridging the rural-urban divide? Secondly, in terms of empowerment, when I say empowerment, to me, empowerment is the bridge that divides people between the rural and urban sections. As someone rightly said, India actually resides in its villages. by default, it means we're talking about rural India. So if there is one media that has been able to bridge this urban-rural divide, it is the social media. And this is a simple statement which reflects the fact that social media has actually empowered the people in such a way that no other media has been able to do till now. Coming to digital culture. Now, the question I would like to ask is, the digital culture is altogether not a new phenomena unlike social media. The digital culture has been amongst us for more than 3 decades, right? The satellite channels, the digitization of education are several examples, and in fact, digitization of higher education, especially in India, are examples of how digitization has really come of age in India. And if you look back and connect, what is it that has driven digitization to India? We started with the age of the analogs, then we came to the electronic age, then we switched over to digitalization, and now the social media. Now we are in a position where we are imparting education. We are imparting education, we are delivering benefits to every section of the society through digital platforms. What you have, what you call so-called Google Pay, Paytm, these are all digital platforms, and these are the platforms which are empowering India, and in a way they are removing the middlemen who were actually playing havoc with the system by cornering the benefits meant for the underprivileged sections of the society. Can you name one aspect which has really hit at the roots of this middleman? It is the digitization process. The digitization process has left the middlemen in the lurch, and here we have the really underprivileged sections of the society who have got empowered through these digitization aspects. So here again, we talk about how digitization has empowered India, and I'm not talking just about the rural India, I'm talking about even the urban India. So digitization has given a new definition to the very term empowerment. So my dear friends, I would like to once again go back and reflect on the theme that social media has been the driving force which is actually leading the path towards empowerment of the people of India. And when I say empowerment, I mean empowerment of in the political sector, in the economic sector, and as well as in the social sector. So we talk about empowerment in the three most important aspects of our society: political, economic, as well as social. So with these few words, and once again, I would like to stress the importance of social media as a tool for empowerment of the people of India, empowerment of the social, political, and economic aspects of these countries. With these few words, I would like to hand over the mic to the next speaker.
Now, in spite of asking a question to each panelist, we will cover the questions at the end. That will save our time. So, Rucha ji will now deliberate.
Namaskar, very good evening to all. So this particular scene reminds me one thing, going back to 1833 when the Charter Act of 1833 was passed. So the act is very important because it led to the modernization of education. Thus we see the media as a part of it. So it says that the most important act was passed in front of empty benches and uninterested audience. I feel the same. So with these words, I would like to begin the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. My pleasure being a part of the ICSSR to be here and to speak something being the part of out of the box. I'm not a person of media, I'm a person of research, and I see the world of the media from that side as a viewer, as an influencer, as a mother, as a researcher, as a bureaucrat. And for me, the media world has so many things to do, and what has to be done through the research is something I am going to speak upon. The one very important aspect what I would like to say, thanks to Professor Padhi for having me here, because the point he has just 10 days back I have been told that I have to speak on social media, skill India and digital culture. 3 things together, and I was like, how I can do it, because it's a very short time to do any research. So this entire speech, what I am going to speak today, is based on the pilot study of a model being sample created of 30 students, the youngsters, and some questions and some ready reference available with me for of 20 articles. So based on this, I tried my hands to have a pilot study, but definitely if you like it, I give this back to the media industry that you do this research on the applied themes and come back to us. Okay, so this is the first part, talking about the social media and how it was evolved. It's not very old. It's just somewhere in the late 20th century, we see that something about the social media came into existence, and some most popular, let it be there. So there's some most important popular, the platforms which were being exercised by many of us were the Yahoo Messenger, Orkut. So this was the ancestors to the Facebook and Instagram and to the YouTube. So these are the ancestors and they have their virasat. So let's have a virasat of Pe Garv. So these are there, existed prior to what the new generation is facing. YouTube and Twitter need not any explanation, but because they are the capturing the mindsets and the visual and an understanding of entire youth at this point of time. I'm really worried because we're talking about Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Amrit Kal, and in that the functioning level, it is a youth who are going to take place. But where India's youth is going, we'll see in the next slide. Going further, so when we talk about a skilled India, media requires a certain type of skills. It begins from the pre-production, then the production, and then the post-production. So we see that when it comes to the role of education and the training program, there has to be allied with not only the standard education program at a graduation, post-graduation and level, but we also required a very good training and advanced training program to meet up the demands based on the interest of the various stakeholders, whether they are in the pre-production, production, post-production area. Other words, it can be very well easily understand as a content development part. First, everyone has an idea and that idea is being executed in a form of content development. Then we see the presentation of the content and it comes in a form of video and a recording, and those recordings are basically uploaded and broadcasted. And then simultaneously another task that take place which bring it that whether it is going to be succeed in the marketplace or not, that is the marketing strategy. So these are the certain areas on where India really need to gear up, and you have to have a more of a skill related to it, because when you talk about the social media, it is covering the two markets. One is an amateur market and another is a professional market. So going further, what we can see here is the social media content at this point of time can be easily divided into two major categories. The one category is the amateur social media and there is a professional social media, or you can say the media houses. So amateur is vary from very good to very bad, and the examples of very good is the cooking channels, food channels, tourism channels, online tuition classes, coaching classes, etc. Same way we are having gaming channels, roasting channel. I think this is something very interesting, and this side of audience will be in a position to understand where I am heading to now. So roasting channel, and that simply sometimes I can categorize them useless channels leading to waste of time. So the quality question is something which is really we need to deal upon. Other side is something very professional, as someone has a very rightly questioned during the previous session. Talking about the news channels, we have entertainment channel, film industry, OTT platforms, sport channels, religious channels, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, handled by the big company, capitalist market, and market is loosely regularized, not sternly controlled. So this is a basic strength and the situation. Talking about the content which is available in the digital media and its impact. So I am now moving toward the last part, that is the digital culture. So we see the amateur and professional media platforms are influencing masses heavily at this point of time, and they are setting a cult. So this is a very important term, cult. Cult leads to usages, usages lead to practices, and practices in due course of time makes the culture existence. So we see we are entered into a new era of a digital culture, and there is a food culture getting influenced. So how this digital culture has influenced the food culture? So first was a Khana Khazana, every one of us must be knowing. There was a Tarla Dalal show, there was a Master Chef, And the COVID-19 has led a sway of mushroom growth. We have hundreds of cooking channels available on YouTube, and many of us, and I think most of us, have tried our hands over it. So when I was preparing my sample, I think it was 96% people have agreed that yes, they get influenced by the food culture available on the social media. Then fitness culture. We have seen there was a Patanjali Yoga, and which was begin somewhere very early with the Sanskar channel. Then we had a fitness with the Bipasha, became very popular, led to aerobic in India. And also the cult fit became most popular in the last decade of time period. So yes, they are disseminating knowledge, they are upgrading skills, and they have the positive impact. So this is what a variable what I have created, and I have got answer positively. Then dance culture, again go back to the 90s. We had a Boogie Woogie, Dance India, super dancers. Again, it has a disseminating knowledge and really upgraded the skills in dancing and had a positive impact. Political culture, everyone speaks, and many of you are knowing much more than me what to be said about that. I really liked what about the educational culture, which has become really prominent after the COVID-19 and during the COVID-19, and we have tuition, coaching classes, and whatnot available on the social media, free as well as expensive. The problem is journal content is available, specific becomes so expensive. Something to be done about that. Then something very important what I have come across was amusement culture. There was a real Instagram and YouTube channels which provide fun, refreshing, addictive, which give fun, very refreshing, they are addictive and leading to a waste of time. I'm sorry to say, yes, we have also come across a negative impacts of these reels, though they are only 15-second reels, but the person becomes addictive and keep on scrolling them. And how much screen time they use, every one of us know about it. So this is something, amusement culture has changed drastically. What was amusement culture during the Harappan time, during the medieval time, modern time? I need not to say about it because every one of us know. But what is the amusement culture? It has become very closed circuit amusement manner. Then very important and very effective thing what I have come across during my research was bully culture. People know how to bully each other, especially in the school life and especially in the college life. They get influenced by the various their followers and especially their YouTube channel people, and especially Mr. Beast, how he speaks. They Trigger Insan, then they have Kerry Minati, Ashish Chanchalani. These are the people who are actually influencing masses. So this bully culture, and whenever they don't like something what you speak, immediately they will say that you are cringe. And that gives me another idea that there is another culture, that culture is called language and slang culture, what has been evolved. There is an altogether new language which is flowing in this side among the youngsters. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, many of us will not be even knowing what the cringe term means all about, what is creepy is all about, what is so many words. And I was like, okay, my God, I need a vocabulary and a dictionary to be prepared to understand the new digital culture which is evolving. And when we are talking about Amrit Kal 2047 goals, somewhere we have to give scope to this new generation and their mindsets because they are going in some other directions altogether. Okay, going further to the next slide, I still have 3 minutes of time. So this is what I have seen, and why, on what grounds I can say very popular. Virat Kohli is a very popular 100 million Instagram followers, but at the same time I have seen Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is having a wonderful franchise. I'm not keeping his photograph here. Maybe the copyright issue may come on me, and I'm not that billionaire to face that particular charges against me. So what I've seen, 112 million people are following him, and especially the Indian youth is following him. He is having much more fan following than the Virat Kohli, and our Prime Minister Modi has only 30 million following. So we can see where our youth are going, whom they are following the most. So these are the questions. So, and see me, when I was trolling that the 10 best YouTube channels of India, I come across the 6th best channel is Round to Hell. My God, what to do? So Round to Hell is something where people are heading to. Okay, please change the slide. Yeah, so we do have a law regulatory framework. We have constitution in place. We have acts which are passed, like Information Technology Act getting amended time to time. We have guidelines issued related to digital media ethics. Recently, it has been also amended and we have important judgments passed in 2015 and 2019, dealing with the social media and the content related aspects, but there is a miles to go. This is an area of a law which is loosely controlling the entire social media and immature social media industry, what I have come across. Please change. So what we can see is there is a need where this social media and amateur social media is required some sort of control by having some ideas, where I'm just putting those ideas that how this can be further worked upon, like popularizing communication devices other than smartphone for children. So there has to be a devices which does not are a smartphone, but definitely the parents can have a connectivity with their children. So this is one, and this to be given to the students below the age of 16. Then media detox programs. So these are the detox programs are required now. What I really feel that everyone, like what is happening in Australia and America, some of the studies I have come across, that they suggest that a person has to leave 10 days of their offices, and same way I think we should leave 3 days at least our mobile phone. I hope I am not doing any encroachment into your right to privacy, your freedom of expression and speech and your freedom zone, but definitely we need a time to detox ourselves from this social media, and that has become really important. Artificial intelligence has identified your interest, and that is a negative thought, and this is I'm saying on the basis of the study, that once you have scrolled some very interesting song from any of the Tamasha movies, for example, a song, Kabhi tum sambhal jao, dil ye sambhal jaye, kaise tumhe roke zara. So this song is so beautiful, but it is having a sadistic, very sad feeling it gives. Once you hear it, your artificial intelligence will work, it will keep on giving you sad songs. Okay, if you have seen some person jumping from the up to down, artificial intelligence will give you so many such similar reels. As an outcome, it is impacting, this digital mindset is impacting the mindsets and the physical well-beings of the youngsters. And that's why the suicidal rate among the youngsters have been increased in this 20 years of time period. And that's really need to be regularized some way. Okay, and then we're talking about screening times and heavy text beauty over the broadcasting. If the time would have permitted, I would have talked about the other variables with which I have tested it. So the last slide, going further. So what can be the role of research in social media, Skill India and digital culture, and how to do it? So this can be a question you can ask me, and then I can answer that at that point of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a very brief and effective presentation, Rucha ji. Now I request, sir.
Thank you, organizers, Dr. Padi sir, for inviting me for this valuable panel. So, Make in India Conclave getting bigger year by year. So now it's a very lovely atmosphere to speak at the end of the session, plenary session. So as Richa ma'am told, really empty chairs, really whenever the panels are there and the empty chairs are in front of them, they are somewhat happy to put their views. But what surprises me, when students at the lunchtime taking a beeline in the blank podium, but now at what the real content is coming and the blank chairs are there, then if somebody is saying that social media is bad, then this is the right example for that. So people should be good there for the right content at the right time, and so that social media can be enriching. So what I want to this subject is a robust digital culture for a rich social media that can empower through a lovely skilled India, and you can put to the world how India is evolving and empowering themselves through a robust digital culture and a rich social media to follow the youth. So what for me, because Richa ma'am is a researcher, so they put in a very beautiful way the slides and all that. But what I practice in my own day-to-day life as a communicator, so that I'll put into in front of the students that can be useful for you, I believe. So digital culture, I take the queue culture of India. There is no queue as such. There is no queue in front of cinema houses. There is no queue in front of the bank to take the cash. There is no queue in front of the ration you can take through bigbasket.com. There is no queue in the LIC offices to put their check and all. So all through has been taken care. If you have a big basket app, you have a Apna loan, or you have a this finance or Zomato, or you there is queue in front of the cab also to take a cab. So that culture has been gone. Now we are only waiting when government will do a app or some system, then we don't have to go to the vote booth. And that you can also give as an Indian Idol, we can also elect our MLA or MP. That day is soon going to come, and that way the digital culture has really reached and really taken empowered all the life of the Indian, common Indian, that how it is coming up slowly and slowly. As I was saying, rural and urban gap, that way also it is reaching very rapidly. You can say that you can have if you have in a village, if you can through a tweet, a teenager can arranging a lakhs of money by tweeting a Sonu Sood, then that is only empowerment. If nobody knows him and is through a photograph and all that, he's putting a tweet and getting help with his mother and father who is in hospital, that is the empowerment only this social media has given us. So that way how rapidly these things have come up, that we have certain things are coming in your fingertip, where you are really facing that, no, I can arrange a blood for my relatives at my hospital, I can crowdsource funding for an operation, and I can put my complaint to the Prime Minister level, the Chief Minister level and Prime Minister level, and who are the real concerned officials, I can directly complain to them. So which has given, this is the tweeting, and what we are conducting at this forum, the whole world is waiting when this Donald Trump will make his first tweet after he is sitting. So that way, the social media power is controlling the, you can say, which is a bigger brand, Twitter or an individual. That way also the world is seeing. So when you have certain things in your society coming up and you are a part of that, it is going to influence your day-to-day life and you can't be escape from that. So that way, and when this thing and you are enriching social media experience, you have to be very, very skilled. Like that, when I was talking to a friend, he told that my son has also 3,000 followers. Like that, the social media is so easy to put up. But now, my friend, it's not like that. If I am a good chef, it doesn't like that. I can cook for the entire people in my sadi or in my marriage. The people are coming, I can't take up a catering service. In that way, if you are putting a social media and you are a good Twitter handle, you have to be very, very skilled how to put it. Like in the day, if that railway or PMO India, whoever a site people are managing, or for that matter, any individual politicians, people know that their Twitter handle is managed by somebody. It has to be very, very, you can say, how to put it, it has some media sense. You just can't write crap. You just can't write certain crap that will go to the mainstream media. It's not like that. You have to be very, very skilled how to put it. So in that way, that skill one has to observe to make a good Twitter handler or Twitter handler for somebody. And if he is writing certain things, it has to be backed by the facts and figures. If railway is conducting, they have now the officially 20 or 30 odd Twitter handlers to put everybody or put all customers to help them at the right point of time. The information or what are the facts and figure has to go in a proper way. And next day you can't say that their PRO now he did a mistake. So it has to be, so whatever you are doing and whatever the communication is coming has to be in a very, very prolific way and has to be backed by data. Similarly, whatever there are people in Ola, Zomato or Amazon or Flipkart, how people are delivering in time to time, they are managing, it's a 10 minutes delivery, it's a 20 minutes delivery, that has to be a very, very skilled job. In a company, that 3 years is a dialogue, you can say pizza reaches in 30 minutes or ambulance takes 1 hour. Why is that? Because pizza is sponsored by a private company and ambulance is sponsored by the government machinery which is not updating themselves. So that way skill has to be updated in that way with the services or app you are handling or it is coming to you or in your mobile you are using day to day. Has to be very, very backed by the people who are handling this and who are operating this. So that digital culture in app if you have in your system, then the real fruit will come in your and how you are using it. That way your society and that empowerment can be truly empowered if it is properly functioning. So in another system also you can say if that your Twitter handle as I was saying is a spokesperson or something like that, how it is empowering for himself and for their party also. Like in some Odia paper or some vernacular or some national English paper also, they have, if you have a circular base of your subscriber base of 30,000 or 1 lakh, but for that matter, one politician has now 1.3 million or 1.5 million direct followers. So in that way, one individual is bigger than one print media. So you think about the impact. You think about the impact how one politician may make in one print than the entire 1 lakh newspaper if the print house is printing in the next day. And it is through it the information or the people you are getting instantly. And for the print media, you have to for the next day. So that way the information circulation and the rotation of the news has come to a certain thing that people don't wait for the TV news or the morning newspaper for the next day. It is immediately at their fingertips we are getting and a tweet from a real concerned person is good enough to know the news and the authenticity of the news. So that way that impact also there how we are going to the traditional media is going to compete with social media. They are not competitors, they are actually complementary. This social media print media has to complement to the social media. Because if you are in a Twitter space, you are doing a certain information is giving, but you have to do a press conference with the journalist. Whenever you say, you have to do a press conference with them. Otherwise, this Twitter space is useless. So that way it is complementing, it is not competing. But still then, if one writes over other and it's giving the traditional media, or you can say the advertisements also for that matter, it's not here for advertisement. Any day we see the Times of India or Indian Express, there is a jacket of real estate ads. If those people are very satisfied with their ads through digital medium, they will not use such big ads or jacket ads in newspapers. In that way also, revenue is also in getting intact in print media, also in social media. So my point is saying that you have to be a very, very responsible social media, but where it's coming to be authenticity and this social media, whatever the news you are getting, has to be also be jointly backed by the print media or the traditional media we have. So with these things I am concluding and whatever the questions we get. Thank you.
I request the audience for the questions, please.
And instead of writing A, R, E, we simply write R. Okay, so how do we stop this and create
Yeah, so when I said about the detoxing from media, it is nothing but a other way saying defasting, digital fasting. So I think this is something very important. It's going to take place because it's like everything is work in a synergy. Thesis, antithesis and synthesis. So we are moving towards that and it is bound to happen. The early we complete our research, the better results we can have. So we can have a first study on the digital fasting, have an example like preparing sample of 120, making an experiment over there and how their reactions are there. So if we make it in a more meticulous manner as in very authentic research, I think that can be more impactful, can be accepted and can be popularized. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, my question is about negative impact of social media. What I have noticed in last few years is that students are not writing proper language. That even in question papers, even in answer sheets, they'll write instead of Y-O-U, they would simply write U. And instead of writing A-R-E, they'll simply write R. Okay. So how do we stop this? And because this is obviously a negative impact of refer to those words, creep and
Cringe.
Oh, cringe. And, so, but this is more serious. I mean, they are not writing proper language. They are, taking to these.
So to take one step further, I'll tell you what is happening in the classroom. The moment teacher asks question, student answers, how? मुझे नहीं पता है, मुझसे मत पूछो ना. And this is the level in which social media is impacting day-to-day classrooms, and this is happening in the classes of 11th and 12th. The students have become so notorious because they are influenced by it. And that was the reason why I said that about these are the programs which is to be conducted. So I am at your side and I'll say मुझे नहीं पता है, मुझसे मत पूछो ना. First need a thorough research on it, how to work upon it. See, it's not like one idea can make a change. It's about a teamwork what is required. This new generation is so powerful. Like Kerry Minati, born in 1999.
trigger insan born in 1995. So we need to understand, to cope up with this new generation of people, we need to teach to identify how to channelize their energy in the right direction. I will not say to take them back to YOU and to take them to write entire word. I will say the classroom where should provide boards to them, because maybe making them to write for good 15 years in a classroom in their exams, and after that get using the pool. But exactly what they are doing is basically they are using computer more in their professional life. So what we are doing to our students, I think the exam should be conducted where they should be allowed to do the typing. And then after they can understand, when they will write you, there will be an underline, automatically they will rectify their mistake by their own. So this is what my thoughts are.
Now you want to ask any question to sir who has given a last presentation. If you have any question, you can ask him.
I think it's relating to all the speakers. Good afternoon, my name is Sizwe Mpopo. I come from Lesotho, a student of Kids School of Mass Communication, and I was listening to all the speakers and how they phrased or talked about social media. It was as if it is the evil of modern times. Are we going to ignore the time when the world was shut down? Everything was at a standstill, and the only thing that kept us connected was social media. The only thing that kept us sane was social media. The only thing that also helped others develop was social media. I'll make an example. That is, when I first joined the program in 2021.
Madam, is relevant to answer this question. She is giving a specific reply to you.
Yeah. So thank you very much for giving me this very important question. Reason is, when we do research, we do research on the problems. I'm not here to glorify social media. Everyone knows how social media is important, and both sir has, like Prasad sir and Mishra sir, have very rightly taken up the important positive role has been taken up by the media, by the digital platforms and digital systems. My point here is, being a researcher, we only look at the gap and the problem what society is facing. When we design our policies, we look into the point, the nature of the society, what we have and where they are heading to. So, problem is a key area on which we have to focus upon. I am not against social media. I also use social media and various social platforms. But I know I use it in a very disciplined manner, but the youngsters can't do it. So how make them to be disciplined in the use of social media? So that was a concern. I hope you got my answer clear.
I'm Ashwini and I'm from Bangalore. My question is not addressed to, particularly addressed to any of you. Any of you can answer this for me. Keeping all the pros of social media in mind, I would like to ask you, is there a need for restraint or controlling the social media, keeping in mind the fake news that spreads over this platform, or the hate speech that spreads over this platform, or the language liberty that it gives to an individual, where there is no control at all of expression? So should we be controlling it in certain way? Because many times when we watch a certain video, we think it has happened in India, and it will be spread or passed on to the entire community with an explanation that it has happened in so and so place. But if you check it, it wouldn't have taken place in that place at all. So there is question of credibility that arises when we are passing, sharing, liking the content that is being uploaded on social media.
That I'm saying.
If yes, how can it be done?
Yes. The first thing of the nowadays social media is the less consumption. The less you consume, the less you will spread. I believe so. The responsibility lies with the user only. So what you want to actually share, that is the whole. When things have come up in respective media, in Facebook or Twitter, whatever, there is a fact check now. Whatever the things are coming, if you have any doubt, you can send a fact check whether it is correct or not. Every handle, some of the newspaper handles also develop that fact check. So for the responsibility lies with you whether you want to share any news which is not relevant to anybody. Because there are certain accident news or any heinous crime or certain thing which is not useful for your family or friends. So what is the point of sharing that? If you are making a fear-mongering psychosis, you are developing a certain thing. If you have the real good information, you should keep on sharing. But whatever the things you don't like or you have a doubt, definitely a system has come up, you can have to check on that. The best way is to 7 points of crime history.
I think the best part is discretion. As social media doesn't have any censorship as such, I would rather feel that in the absence of any particular type of controls on social media, discretion is better part of valor. So my question is, if you have any doubts about the authenticity or about the reliability of the information on social media, we just take it with a pinch of salt or just drop it. We do not react to it. That's the most important thing that you should learn, not to react to it.
Your reply, whole process is very balanced, because unless until you have your own restrictions, there will not be end. And other way, there are some now regulations on consideration. The bill is also pending regarding this. It is under consideration. Again, in Western countries, there are very important codes of conduct, and this code of ethics is strictly followed. In India, we do not have such kind of code of conduct. So, social media users council, they should develop a body and they should themselves think about their own control. This self-restriction, that is very important. Because if you don't follow self-regulation, ultimately you are going to face the legal action. For that, whether we require a lot of control or not is a matter of control. But two things are there. One, Lakshman is of social code of ethics, and if you cross the Lakshman, again you will fall in the this is answer. Any other question? I think all questions are over.
Now, in the context of many observations about the digital media that the panelists have made, has the time come for the youngsters to do a coaching class to the senior teachers that this is exactly what they need in their answers? Is it the right time? Because maybe we are not digital natives. We come from a different era. The youngsters are right in following their culture. No offense, no comment. But we don't understand them as examiners. And poor kids, they pay a price for it. It would rather be if the universities convert all their buzzwords into full sentences and give to the examiner. If this buzzword is there, this is the answer. Please correct it in a valuable manner. Is that the right solution? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I think this is the right time to speak about it. I will say I will be agreeing to it. Reason is, there are the experimental schools of the education. Why not those experimental schools of education which are associated with the education faculty of graduation level and post-graduation level to take up this task? Because ideas are very good. These are the hypotheses. These need to be experimented, examined, and then after it should be executed at a mass level or at a national level. But I think I will welcome this idea because this is something time is changing. We cannot keep our youngsters to do what we want to do. We need to have a peer learning system, and learning from your junior or from your young colleague is not wrong. This is a colonial mindset from which we really need to free. So this is another part of the punch card, that freeing our mindsets from the slavery. So that it is only senior who can give order to the junior, junior will give order to the subordinates, or teacher will give the order and what teacher says it is right. It is wrong. Nowadays, it is a lot of knowledge which is available. There has to be more interactive, and I think I will say that something should be done in this regard and would be very positively going to impact creating a synergy between student, teacher, educational environment.
So, I will briefly summarize the whole session. The panelists have given a very relishing food for thought, and they have incorporated their ideas in a very short and very sweet manner. I thank all of them. And the learned audience has also participated, elevated the discussion with a very high level. So, Digital India is a robust idea, and I think that if you follow these guidelines and see restrictions, code of ethics, I think this media will help empowerment of the rural poor and also will enhance the skill India and will also a total empowerment of women, weaker sections and marginalized. The media should go to Jayaprakash Ji Narayan when he was interviewed on All India Radio after 1977 total revolution. He said, I have no fear regarding expansion of media. Media should go to people, media should go to villages, and media should serve the cause of the common man. That is what Lokanayak Jayaprakash Narayan said after his interview on All India Radio on 30th March 1977. So, that also we can add one more line to their interview, and he said, we can say that media, social media, which is providing new hopes and aspirations for the common man, should be properly and carefully used, and hopes and aspirations of the last man should be reflected. Thank you very much. Thank you for patiently listening.
Sir, I'm Nitin Gaikwad. I'm from Aurangabad. I'm research scholar with Dr. Bhubaneswar at Marathwada University, and I'm doing my research under guidance of Honorable Professor Sir. My question for the panel is, I come from the era of radio and print, and then afterwards we had television, and now we are digital, we are online, and we are on social media. What panel thinks? What do we have in next? What is in store for us in future? Thank you.
Yeah, these things will going to say, right? You just don't think that what is the next step that TV and radio will not be there. If TV, radio will be next thing, then there should be no FM. So these things will going to stay, and these things will, as they said, it will be complementing each other. You just can't say TV is gone, you can't say radio will be gone. It's not like that. After Monkey Bath, radio has got its important like that, the social media itself. So these things are going to complement each other, they will be different. Variety, you can say, Muslims will be coming up. Like they did Twitter when they started the story 140 characters, then come to 280. Now they did Twitter space, you can make friends and have your own discussions. So all these forums will have different versions in the coming future, and that will be going to serve in a better way. If you are going to utilize for a better way this equipment or this instrument, it is going to serve you better. If you are going to some ransom email, then it will destroy you. That way the good things are going to stay, and every media will complement each other.
Each media is helping the other media. When an American television came, people used to say that newspaper will be closed down. After internet came, youngsters went towards internet, and who will be the multimillionaire? That came a serial in America. Then India we have Kon Banega Crorepati to catch the youngsters. Likewise, one Nebraska University professor, Phil Kierstead, wrote a book, Newspapers Meet the TV Challenge. And in this book he concluded that newspapers have not only competed the television but have improved quantitatively and qualitatively. Then New York Times, Chicago Tribune and Washington Post enhanced the style of presentation. They went on changing their front page, anchor page, and they started news analysis. So, likewise after social media's arrival, what has happened? In the newspapers, if you take up lead stories today, in each lead story of the right side of the newspaper reader, which is very heart of the readership, the Twitter account, Twitter quote is given, or sometimes social media reference is given. So and so man, he wrote a blog like this, and this was a reaction. So the quotations from the social media appearing in the mainline story, mainstream story, that is a very important phenomenon. And the television presentation style is changing. When you are writing a news story, what are the reactions of social media? They are also, अब इंडिया मैच हारता है तो लोग कितना ट्रोल करते हैं, तो वो ट्रोल का सबलर कौन है, उससे क्या चल रहा है, ये भी न्यूज़ बनती है. That is the kind of, the social media is catching the content in even the print media and even the television media. That's what the mixing of media and merger of media, for the searching the maximum number of truths. Basic News is a book written by Melvin Mencher, in which he has written that localization is a very important phenomenon in news. In television, suppose an air crash, what are the local content in that air crash? That used to be revealed. But now, in the localization, what the people are trolling, why the people are giving certain opinion in the social media, that is also put in
the basic news. So these are all the very important aspects in journalism, mass communication. So we used to say news is sacred, comments are free. New York Times slogan is there. Everything below the sun and beyond the sun fit to print in the news. News is sacred, comments are free. But if you say add to this, news is sacred, but comments are not free. Comments are related to social media. And everything below the sun, beyond the sun, and beyond the social media, and under the social media, everything is fit to print in the news. That is what the basic norms, definitions, conceptual frames are changing. The technology is changing, the dimensions of the journalism. That is very important. In television, the presentation style of the news is coming up. The sluglines are changing. The language of the news is changing. The intros are changing. The participation, the mass participation is more effective. What is appearing on social media, that is also revealed in the corner. So these are all very important aspects. And the journalism students, when you are using the old books or language books may be read in Korea. I have 42 books in journalism in Marathi. But in spite of that, I often change my content in writing the books. When I write a fresh book, I add some more fresh stories. So that is very important, because when you are teaching, learning, as Sanjay sir said, teachers also require teaching. Because what the teachers are just mugged up what in 70s and 80s they are teaching in 2000, the youngsters will not listen. So you have to update your knowledge. So the professional journalism is not like history or king of Ashoka fighting to Kalinga war. So every time the Kalinga war is changing here, and the teacher has to fight the war, the student has to also raise many questions in the war. So this is a war of knowledge, is a struggle, dialogue, and thesis, antithesis, synthesis. In Marxian dialectics materialism, if you say understand the whole scenario, that you have to understand the newer dimensions of media. Gordon's book we used to read, it is communication and technology. Used to say that each technical revolution will lead to communication revolution. Now, each micro-technical revolution will lead to the media's presentation revolution. That's what new formulations are coming up. We have to understand and update ourselves. But it is very important theme, message of the present symposium, panel discussion is that the digital media, social media, online media is helping the youngsters, helping the rural people, poor people, marginalized people to get their benefits. And that is what very important. There are many self-help groups in Maharashtra. This is what the SNG women do. They produce certain products. And they produce their product, not only produce, but they market in Mumbai. In the Lakshmi Road in Mumbai, the huge every year exhibition is arranged. And millions of crores of people are there. IS officers and all bureaucrats and elite people purchase those products. That is what the empowerment process is. So empowerment of women, empowerment of slum dwellers, empowerment of the extreme poor, that is very important. Because a person, I have an example, a person who was claiming his remuneration for the road construction. In 62 he lost his remuneration. But he fought in the year 2022 and he got good money out of that. So his legal fight continued for 20 years and then he is getting success. So this has brought the awareness to the social media. Farmers, then villagers, they are now very aware. So they are aware about the rights and responsibilities. So this is a very good change and that is going to strengthen our democracy in a very fast way. I think. Ready? Thank you very much. Yeah, if you have दूसरा क्वेश्चन मैडम बोलेगी, मैं पहला क्वेश्चन का आंसर इनका खत्म करके मैडम को बताऊं. They basically Peter wrote a book on media logic. Now media logic can be taught and can be acquired. That if you understand how the media functions, what are the pros and cons of media products, media programs, media presentations, you require media literacy. And media literacy is a cultural movement. ऐसे हमारे जो प्रोग्राम पार्टी साहब हर साल करते हैं, that is a media literacy movement. Media literacy is a cultural movement. It's a vibrant media. If it is well trained, if it is well evolved, it can improve the quality of democracy. The vibrant democracy can be participatory democracy, federal democracy. So in this process, media literacy is very important. There's a Times of India every day is presenting a column on fake news. The Hindu providing education on English language. Likewise, time has come. A media language newspaper in Odia language or in Bangla language, in Marathi language. should present a box every day on page number 3 regarding the understanding the social media plus minus. So that column, if you write a catchy column in Maharashtra Times, there is one fellow Tambi Durai writes. Tambi Durai is a nickname. Tambi Durai cannot write in Marathi, he is a Tamil person. But the present Tambi Durai writes a nice column in the Sunday Maharashtra Times, and he hits about social media, about the blogging and this and that. So such popular columns should be written by journalists, and that would enrich the level of understanding of the common people. Media literacy is very, very important, and that is the journalism and media education should join hands together and should elevate the entire quality of media. That is very important. Thank you very much.
Global technology has been the greatest enabler in causing disruptive changes around the world. India's story is no different. Use of digital technologies to educate and empower citizens is being seen as a game changer. The vision of Digital India is grand, and social media skill development are playing a pivotal role in it. Digital India and skill development is a welcome step in shaping India's 21st century, powered by connectivity and technological opportunities. As we are in the last leg of this session, so the need of hour is to sum up the session by highlighting the out-of-box statements given by our eminent speakers. Professor Dharulkar appreciated the initiatives taken by Indian government in bringing out the best in terms of digital capabilities of Indian continent. He also applauded the power of social media, whereas he emphasized that need of the hour is for the teachers to evolve with the evolving times. Dr. P.V. Satyaprasad emphasized on the social media bridges, how social media bridges the gap between urban and rural India. Digitization has empowered India and how the term empowerment is being redefined in digitized world. Dr. Richa Sharma elucidated and discussed the crux of a pilot study carried out by her, where she explained how social media sets a cult evolves in usages, practices, and thus creates a culture. She also highlighted various cultures and their effect on young minds and how there is a need for regulatory mechanism to mend the current situation. Mr. Sudhir Ranjan Mishra sir briefed upon the robo-digital culture. Digital media has taken care of each and every need of human being. Social media is revamping and reshaping the world and the human beings too. Mr. Mishra later on emphasized on the need of making social media a responsible platform as at par with its contemporaries. Coming to the end, lastly, I would like to thank all our eminent speakers for pondering upon such a vital issue and enlightening the young minds. And I would like to request Padi sir to please felicitate the esteemed speakers. Dr. Richa Sharma, Deputy Director, Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, New Delhi. Dr. P.V. Satyaprasad, Associate Professor and Acting Dean, School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, Utkal University, Hyderabad. Tulsi Ranjan Mishra, Head of Corporate Affairs at Plenary Phosphates Limited.